one of the greatest and most influential scientists of all time, put in work into all sorts of areas, such as mathematics, optics, and physics, to name a few. Named after his father, Newton was born in Lincolnshire, England, on the 4th of January, 1642. Early in his life, his mother went off to go marry her new husband, and left him with his grandmother, whom he was not fond of. At the age of 12, he attended the King's School until the age of 17, where he had been moved out of school to go work on the farm with his mother after his stepfather's death. 2 years later, in 1661, he was admitted to Trinity College. There, he discovered the generalized binomial theorem and developed a theory which would later become one of the major parts of infinitesimal calculus. Beyond his years in college, he also made contributions to the Newton methods, Newton identities, classifying cubic plane curves, and other things relating to mathematics. One of his greatest works was the publications of the books Principia, which cover the theory and application of infinitesimal calculus, along with other subjects. On the 20th of March, 1743, he died in his sleep and was buried in Westminster Abbey.
Godfrey William von Leibniz was born in 1646 in Hanover. When he was 14, he entered the University of Leipzig to study philosophy and mathematics. He began to study motion, and although he had in mind the problem of explaining the results of Warren and Eugene on elastic collision, he began with abstract ideas of motion. He claimed that movement depends on the action of spirit. In 1675, he wrote a manuscript using the integral notation for the first time. Leibniz published details of his differential calculus in 1684. The paper contained the familiar differential notation, the rules for computing the derivatives of power, product, and quotient.
The development of calculus can roughly be described along a timeline which goes to 3 periods: anticipation, development, and regularization. In the anticipation stage, techniques were being used by mathematicians that involve infinite process to find areas under curves or maximize certain quantities. In the development stage, Newton and Leibniz created the foundation of calculus and brought all of these techniques together under the umbrella of the derivative and integral. Newton came to calculus as part of his investigation in physics and geometry. He viewed calculus as the scientific description of the generation of motion and magnitude. In comparison, Leibniz focused on the tangent problem and came to believe that calculus was a metaphysical explanation of change. It took about 100 years for calculus to be finally made rigorous. Eventually, Augustin Louis Cauchy, Carl Theodor Wilhelm Weierstrass, and George Frederick Ferdinand Riemann reformulated calculus in terms of limits. The way calculus is taught is backward to its development. It begins with the concept of the limit, then with derivative and the integral as defined by Newton and Leibniz, using the new definition as stated with limits. Newton introduced the notation f for the derivative of a function. Leibniz introduced a symbol for the integral and wrote the derivative of a function y of the variable x as dy dx. These symbols are used in today's calculus math.